Well, hello, and welcome to another Promise Kept. This is our Promises Kept Bible study where we're taking a look at the promises of God found in the Bible. And we are on Promise Kept number 22, and this is a great one, just a great one that just carries so much beautiful information. I hope that you will listen to the whole thing. And it's in the book of Isaiah, so we have a prophet who is a prophet of the Lord who's speaking the Lord's word, so we know it's absolutely coming straight from the mouth of God and hopefully straight to your heart today. So we're going to be in the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, and our promise is in verse 4. Now, I'm going to read our promise, verse 2, and you're going to see how much is packed in it. And then I'm going to go and read verse 3 also. But let's just read verse 4 of Isaiah 46, and we're going to get our promise. Verse 4 says, "Even to your old age I am he, and to gray hairs I will carry you. I have made, and I will bear, and I will carry, and will save." Wow, whole bunch of promises in there, important promises about God just taking care of you your whole life long, and not just that, just making you. So it's pretty great. Now, I'm going to go back, like I said, to verse 3, and I want you to hear the whole thing, remembering that this is in context. This is the prophet Isaiah speaking the words of the Lord, and he's speaking them to the nation of Israel at a time period where Israel is split into two, and Isaiah is speaking to the southern kingdom of Judah these words. All right, verse 3 of chapter 46. "Listen to me, O house of Jacob." House of Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel at a certain point in his walk. He wrestled with God, and God changed his name from Jacob to Israel. So Jacob, Israel, same person, a real person in the history of the nation of Israel. "Listen to me, O house of Jacob, all the remnant of the house of Israel, who have been born by me from before your birth, carried from the womb." And then our verse, "Even to your old age I am he, and to gray hairs I will carry you. I have made, and I will bear, I will carry, and will save." So, wow, right? So much, and so much great truth, not just going to Israel, but going to us as believers. The book of Romans will say that we are grafted into the line of Israel. If you are a believer in Jesus, you are part of his bloodline, part of the line of Abraham. So you can take this and you can hold on to it, even though it was spoken to Israel way back in about 700 BC. So anyway, as you go in there, starting in verse 3, the beauty of the truth is that it says, "Who have been born by me from before your birth." Now, talking about Israel, obviously God is saying, you were born before you were ever a nation. So God perceived that Israel was going to be his chosen nation before they were ever a nation. Obviously, he spoke to Abraham and told him this. He gave him the predictions, the covenant of the Abrahamic covenant, where Abraham was told, "I'm going to make you a great nation." So God knew that Israel was going to be the nation it is before it was ever born. It actually ever happened. Obviously, what happened, hopefully you know, that the family line of Abraham was down in Egypt, and they multiplied, and they were in slavery under Pharaoh, and then God sent Moses to deliver them, and then they were wandering on the wilderness, a great nation of people with God's commandments. So they were a nation with a bunch of laws, but they had no land, and God promised them they were going to go into the promised land, and it took them 40 years. They were disobedient, but eventually they got themselves a land. So God knew that this people group was going to be his nation of Israel before it was ever born of a nation. And the truth of the matter is, it's the same with you. We can say the same thing. God knew you before you were ever born, before you were ever a twinkle in your mommy and daddy's eye. He knew that you were going to be on this planet. He absolutely knew you before you were ever conceived, before you were ever born. And that's an amazing reality to wrap your mind around, that God has planned you from before you were ever on the planet. He knew that you were going to come, and do the great things that he has planned for you. So that is a truth right from God. And then it says that he carried you from the womb. He carried Israel from the womb. So he carried them the whole time that they were developing in the wilderness for the 40 years. That's, in context what it's saying. But the truth of it is, as far as you and I go, God carried you from the womb, in the womb. And for those of you who are not Christ followers, this will give you a little glimmer into why Christ followers believe that it's not right to commit abortion. It's because we believe that a baby is a baby in the womb. Verses like this, and I'll read another in a little bit, confirm that. It's not just one time in the Bible, it's many times in the Bible that you were you before you ever got in the womb, and that you were you in the womb. So God is very clear that you were a baby, and you were known by him in the womb. You were always a human in there, and that didn't stop after you got born. All right, so God, there it says it, carried you from the womb, and then it goes into our promise verse that says, even to your old age I am he. So God knew you before you were in the womb. God knew you in your form that he wanted you. He knew you in the womb, and he's going to continue to carry you all the days of your life, from the time you were born to the time of your old age. Now, not everybody makes it to old age, but God is basically saying here that he's going to carry you. He's going to be with you all the days of your life. He's the one that's keeping your heart going, and he's the one that's keeping your cells dividing, and he's the one that keeps your lungs going in and out. It's God that is carrying you to your old age. You can't do it without him, no matter whether you believe in him or not. So that's just an amazing thing. Even to your old age, I am he. He's God, whether you believe in him or not. And it says, and to gray hairs, I will carry you, right, to the time you're old. If you make it there, it's God who's sustaining you. And it says, I have made, right, he made you, and I'll bear you. He's going to be the one that keeps you going for the time that he has for you on earth. And again, it says, I'll carry you and will save. That's the part. That's the part we keep talking about. He'll save you. He'll save you. He's going to carry you through your whole life, and he will also save you if you turn towards Jesus as your Lord and Savior, right? He's the only one that can do it. He's the only one that can save you from dying and going to hell. So God is saying here, he's the one that's going to carry you through your life, and he's the one that will save you if you allow him to. So a great promise here that just shows you how God knew you before you were born, carried you in the womb, knew who you were in there, carries you your whole life till you got gray hairs, and will save you if you allow him to. Now let's just go to one more verse just so you know that I'm not just saying this one verse in the Bible that you see. There's other places that talks about God and you being a human in the womb. So Psalm 139:16 says, your eyes, as the psalmist is saying, your eyes, God, saw my unformed substance, right? Knew me before I was formed in the womb. In your book were written every one of them, the days that were formed for me. God knows every single day of your life before it ever plays out. He knew it before you were even formed in the womb. He knew exactly how many days he's got set for you. And then it says, when as yet there were none of them. So one more time, your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there were none of them. So it's just a beautiful, another just reinforcement that God knew every day of your life before they were ever happened, before you were ever born. You were a human before you were formed in the womb, before you were ever conceived. He knows every day that you're going to live, and in our promise verse, he'll carry you through because he made you, and he will save you if you allow him to. If you put your trust in Jesus, he will save you into heaven. So hopefully You hang on to those promises. They're great ones. And hopefully I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye now.